This is your Saturday's news package, weekend report on the Nigerian Television Authority, Nta Ilorin. Good evening and welcome. I am Kehinde Omolosho. An outlook of tonight's package. Kwara State Government signs Memorandum of Understanding with French Government on strategic partnership. We have a review of some reports that made headlines during the week. Our focus tonight on the discussion segment will be an analysis of the inauguration speech by President Bola Tinubu, plus our regulars, updates from the world of entertainment and sports. All this and more shortly. Do stay tuned. Kwara State Government has signed two major agreements with the French government on strategic partnership involving the use of Innovation Hub for knowledge transfer as well as development of the latter grazing reserve for large-scale livestock production. Raliat Ibrahim reports.
Kwara State Governor Abdurrahman Abdulrazak signed the Memorandum of Understanding on behalf of the state government, while the French Minister of State for Development, Francophonie and International Partnerships, Chrysola Zakharapolo, signed the deal for the French side. The French minister described Kwara State as a hub of human capital development and praised the governor for his initiatives in the education sector, youth empowerment and gender inclusion policy. According to her, the partnership, which is in relation to agriculture, will make a major contribution to livestock development, job creation and living standards of the people.
Offers. And I look forward to discovering a few vision projects during my visit today, particularly in the field of agriculture, that is a main priority for your government, and you have right.
Kwara State Governor Abdurrahman Abdulrazak is confident the relationship between the state and the French will strengthen livestock production and marketing of such products as well as increase agricultural output in the state.
Leadership, it's not just to encourage youth, but to put them in position of leadership, and women to put them in the right position of leadership so that they can make the right decisions, especially in education development, in innovation, technology, commercial agriculture. One of the reasons we're here today, and sustainable development goals in general.
The French team was conducted around the Visual Arts Center, the Innovation Hub, and the Agricultural and Rural Management Training Institute, AMT, in Ilorin. Raliat Ibrahim, Nta News.
A one-day capacity building on emergency exercise aimed at enlightening emergency responders and members of the public to know their duties and how to discharge them during emergency situations has been held at the Ilorin International Airport. Hamad Fulani was there and now reports.
Emergency situation is described as a difficult and unexpected incident that requires quick response from emergency responders and members of the public. How to professionally respond to emergency situations is therefore the reason for this gathering that affords participants opportunity to learn more. Various groups that deliberated on emergency situations and responses suggested synergy among all the relevant stakeholders on emergency situation, including the media.
What we want them to take home is to know that emergencies happen, especially around here, and that they should be ready, and that everybody should ingest and know what to do.
We are here to tell our responding agencies or our assisting agencies in emergency their responsibility and how to carry out those responsibilities in real emergency situation.
Overcrowding is a major hiccup experienced in an emergency situation, and as such, emergency responders and security agencies must design methods to overcome such. Organizers of the seminar and the participants could not agree less with the timing of the program, noting that it will improve responses to emergencies.
Timely information to security agencies to respond to emergency situations should be taken very serious.
The media has a very crucial role to play in covering an emergency situation, and for us in the NTA, we have not been found wanting.
Every security agency that is going to participate in any heart of emergency would have known what his function is all about.
At the end of the seminar, emergency responders are expected to be equipped with prerequisite knowledge that will ensure they respond to emergency situations with a view to reducing casualties from international airports in Ilorin. Ahmed Fulani, NTA News.
The Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU, has appealed to the federal government to honor agreements signed with the union to forestall future strikes by the union. The appeal was made in reaction to the National Industrial Court judgment upholding the no work, no pay rule against the union. The report. President of the National Industrial Court, Justice Benedict Kanyip, in his judgment, held that it is within the right of the federal government to withhold salaries of workers who embarked upon industrial action. ASU Chairman, University of Ilorin, Professor Muyosore Ajao, believes there is a better way of interpreting the judgment.
To us, the decisions of the court is that the solution to the no work, no pay rule is actually should be a political one, because in essence, we have done the work. So are they going to ask us to undo the work or what?
The ASU has the right to go on strike, but will not be entitled to salary when the cause of the strike is the negligence of the employer. That's why I do not agree with the judgment.
That judgment is subject to appeal. If ASU like, they can appeal. If otherwise, they leave it at 1-1, just like that.
Dr. Folonshaw Hussein of the Department of Islamic Law, Faculty of Law, University of Ilorin, applauded the court for the judgment but averred that imposing the integrated payroll and personnel information system on members of ASU was a violation of university autonomy.
They are paying our salaries up till now through the IPPIS we have not enrolled into. That tells you and I that those managing the system can as well enroll fictitious 3 million individuals into the system to steal.
I will continue to constructively engage government to ensure that our university system are well equipped. And I'm telling you, one of the ways to do this is to ensure if those in the parliament can actually come up with a law that politicians' children should be restricted to schooling in public universities.
The Academic Staff Union of Universities had on February 14, 2022, embarked on a strike which lasted 8 months over issues of revitalizing public universities and a review of lecturers' salaries and allowances, among other matters. We now take our background report, which will lead us to the discussion segment. Filling stations in Ilorin Metropolis have adjusted their pump price to reflect the new template released by the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, NNPC Limited. Hamad Fulani has the report.
Residents of Ilorin woke up on Tuesday to see many filling stations under lock and key, while few ones selling experienced long queues. This becomes more pronounced on Wednesday with the release of a new pump price template for each state by the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation Limited that has forced both major and independent marketers to fix new prices for PMS products. The upward review in price is therefore coming as a surprise to many citizens whose income does not commiserate with the current fuel price. Omar Shaba could not believe the new price until he drove to a filling station, but wants government to utilize the money realized from removal of subsidy judiciously.
What the government needs to do is to look at areas where palliatives, where the suffering of the subsidy on the people can be addressed, so that people will feel the succor on other areas.
It's affecting everybody, every citizen of Nigeria is affecting, even the business people, the marketers, even the traders, it's affecting everybody. It's just an issue that we just continue praying to God.
It will affect everything. Even me that I'm selling my kunu, definitely it will affect it. Because the transportation is what really matters. There's no way you will not move. So we pray the subsidy will rescue us and it will not bring difficulties to us.
They can help us to reduce it to 230, we'll be happy.
IPMAN chairman in Kwara State, Abdulateef Abdurrauf, explained the reasons behind the new pump price.
As a serious businessman, you don't wait for new product to come. Before the removal of the subsidy, we cannot do that because our government has right to regulate us, to tell us what to do and how much we will sell our product. But since day before yesterday, when he said subsidy is gone, government has no right to tell us how much we will sell our product.
His advice for government is to urgently provide palliatives that will cushion the effects of subsidy removal.
You're welcome to the discussion segment of Weekend Report. My guest is in the studio, but before then, let's talk about the topic. Our topic for discuss tonight is an analysis of President Bola Tinubu's inauguration speech. My guest is Dr. Moshood Adi, Director, General Studies, Kwara State College of Education. You're welcome to the program.
Good evening, sir. Viewers at home, good evening to you all.
Now, May 29, 2023, President Bola Tinubu was sworn in as President of Nigeria, and he gave an inaugural speech. What is your assessment of his inaugural address to the nation?
Thank you very much. The inaugural speech of the President was very captivating and is very much welcome because it is loaded with full of informations. And even at the beginning, I quite understand and I quite agree with him. And I appreciate the beginning of his speech because at the beginning, he said he feels honored being the president of this nation. And he gives kudos to people who elected him. And eventually, he directed that he give all power to Almighty Allah. And that wherever he feels that things will be very difficult, he knew that Allah will come eventually to come and uphold him. So if you now start your beginning of administration by giving thanks to, giving power to whoever the power belongs, I think you are going to be guided. And that is the beginning of that speech. And going through that speech, he encouraged Nigerians that people have even predicted that we are going to break, we are going to, are no more going to be a nation. But through our resilience, through our hope, we keep on waxing stronger. And we have told the critics that their predictions will not come to true. So he now told Nigeria that he believed that they can do it. And that we're giving our renewed hope, the renewed hope, which is the slogan of his administration. Yes. He believed that we are going to get there if we continue to believe in ourselves. And he helped encourage Nigerians to hold themselves together, not to be divided by ethnicity, religion, and any other things, that those minor trivial things that can easily divide a nation. So with that, he believed Nigerians can make it. And the foreign policy of his administration is about the problem within the African countries, the African sub-regions, the crisis in Sudan, the crisis in other areas, that Nigerians as a nation, you want to make his own foreign policy to be a policy that is need to go back to those areas and bring back peace into that nation. Because with them having problem, Nigeria will be having problem too. So the foreign policy of his administration will be to make sure that there is peace in Africa and the West Africa and the African continent as a whole. So that is that. On the economy, he actually talked a lot, and he believes that those things that are anti-investment policy that has made people to turn away from Nigeria. There is what we call foreign capital divert from this country. People are no more feeling free to make sure that their dividend and the profit they can take it back to their home. Because of what? We have a lot of policies that are bottlenecks. So all this is going to remove them and make the environment economy friendly to people, so that there will be more investors coming in on the play. So those are part of the good things in the speech that made me to say that the speech was fully loaded and full of good things for Nigerians.
Fuel subsidy is gone.
Yeah, that's another area.
How will the removal of fuel subsidy affect the Nigerian economy?
It will affect Nigerian economy positively. Positively, I tell you. Because with what is called subsidy, with subsidy, Nigeria is subsidizing on a monthly basis. We are not spending less than 400 billion naira monthly subsidizing. And at the end of it all, the essence of subsidy is for people, the Nigerian citizen, to really enjoy. But behind the scene, Nigerians are not really enjoying the benefit, having the benefit of the subsidy. It is only a very few people that are enjoying this benefit. So with the removal of subsidy, those money, about approximately $740 billion will be conserved for Nigeria, and that can be diverted into infrastructure, health, education, and other social investment that can boost the morale of Nigerians and can make Nigeria look more like a Nigerians. So with this, it is going to help the economy. Not only that, the dividend of that dividend that will be coming to the purse of Nigeria, if judiciously used, that is the area we have to go to emphasize. If judiciously used, it's going to be of benefit to Nigerian as a whole. But one thing about the speech and the removal of subsidy is that I faulted the president, because in his own speech, it's like he was contradicting himself that day.
How?
You know, at the beginning, he said he is ready to govern and not to rule.
Yes.
He's ready to dialogue and to consult, and he's not going to dictate. But if you look at that is an aspect of the speech that is encouraging. But by the removal of that subsidy, who has he consulted? Has he made any dialogue? Has he consulted with anybody before making that decision? So using that, bringing that in his own speech, and now giving a kind of dictation to follow it, that first subsidy is gone without consulting, that's a contradiction in the speech. That I feel he should have waited to consult, to dialogue, and then coming up from that dialogue and this thing, you can come out now to give us the outcome of that removal of fuel subsidy and what will be the eventual benefit to Nigeria. So that was what was causing row even after that speech, and now why people are now making a noise. Even the Labour Congress, you know, they are now giving say by where they are going, because they felt they have not been consulted. And if you have said that you are going to consult, you are going to dialogue, I believe you should have waited to dialogue and consult before making that decision. So making that pronouncement without recourse to what you have said in the first part of your speech is a contradiction.
All right, what a major challenge the country is faced with is that of security for so many years now. How should the present administration tackle the issue of security in the country?
Yes, that featured prominently in his speech. He said security is going to be the top priority of his administration. And he believes that what he wants to do is that he's going to come out with his own, he's ready to rejig the security architecture by, first of all, improving the security in terms of personnel, in terms of recruitment, in terms of equipping them with the sort of the art equipment that can make them to compete with their colleagues outside the country. So, and you can see that even in his during his first meeting with the security chiefs, he made it clear to them that he is giving them that, first of all, oil theft is no more, that they should go and protect our oil well, and they should go out there and make sure that all criminals we should get rid of all criminals and criminalities in our environment. That is the focus of our administration, and it doesn't want any excuse from any one of them. And you can see that he's ready to use the military, the security architecture to the fullest. The two of them, there were two of them having a kind of conflict.
Yes.
Immediately he gave a presidential order to say that you cannot continue to you cannot start fighting now when I'm ready to use you to build the security nature of. So if you start fighting yourself now, what will be the result? Therefore, he gave a presidential order, immediately that we will not hear anything anymore. So that shows that he's ready, and he has to build on President Muhammadu Buhari's effort on that in that line. President Muhammadu Buhari, for instance, promised to recruit 40,000 policemen, and before he left, I think in the first maybe 2022, 10,000 policemen were recruited. In 2022, another 10,000 was recruited, and there is about recruiting about another 10,000 before he left. So I know he's going to start off from there. Recruitment, equipping, welfare of the men of the security, and he told them they should go to those who are the battlefield. They should make sure that their welfare is well catered for, so that they know that if they are dying for this country, they have something to know that the country is ready to take care of them. So these are areas that he has really hit the ground running, and I really appreciate him for that. So with that, I think we are going to have an improvement in our security architecture. And now, complete overhauling of the security system is going to be what he is ready to do, and we are going to enjoy him for that.
Now, President Tinubu also talked about removal of multiple taxation and from the economy.
Yeah.
Multiple taxation, how does it affect?
You know, I told you, even at the beginning, I told you that there is what we call capital flight.
Yes.
The capital flight, people have been moving their investment away from this country. Because of what? Because of multiple taxation. And what is even known as anti-investment policies. These are not helping the situation at all, and people are not enjoying it. So people who are supposed to have the dividend of their investment, profit from their investment, they are being cheated by giving them multiple taxation, and they are not enjoying the environment. So because of that, many of them are moving away their investment away from this country. So he has seen this loophole, and he said this multiple taxation is going to be stopped, and all the anti-investment policies that is inhibiting the progress of investors will be removed, and they are going to be encouraged to come and invest in this country. And with that, it's through them that we are going to, if that is done and more investors are coming, we are going to reduce the rate of unemployment in this country, and more of our youth will start getting jobs. Because by the time people move their investment to this country, by the time they come and invest more in this country, more people will be employed. Look at Dangote refinery, for instance. Now, because of the ease of doing business, because of the good atmosphere given for him, a 19 billion investment in oil. You know how many Nigerians will be employed through that process. So if people like that are encouraged to come on board with this, we are going to have problem, and we are going to have a solution to our unemployment problem. Mark you, the regulation in the petroleum industry will bring in more investors into that area, because NNPC will no more be will not have the monopoly that they have in that sector again, because the constitution says they should have only 30% of the petrol that they are going to. So the remaining will be open to investors. So more investors will come into that industry with the regulation that has taken place now, without removal of oil subsidy. So by the time more players come into the industry, more people will be employed, and then unemployment will be easing from our society. So more of our youth will be getting more jobs. So with this, is a good policy.
What about rural economic development?
Rural economic development is also a focus, because he has promised 1 million jobs through digital economy. Mark you, if you say digital economy, that can only happen in the urban center. But with that, more of these people will have, if the rural economy now, with the money coming in from the removal of oil subsidy, more roads will be constructed into the rural areas, and then he has promised an investment into agriculture too, using coming up with agric hub, and what we call he said he's going to build more bring in equipment that will make sure that people get their food stored, that will not be getting spoiled anymore. So more of the rural areas, they will go there and take their job from there. By the time we have good road, they are encouraged to go into agriculture. So many people will go into the rural areas, and then rural investment will come up. Then with that, and remember in part of the speech that electricity will be affordable and available. So if that is done, and there is no more going to be any difference between rural and the urban, because if we have electricity in the rural area, people will go there to go and farm, and then you will have, if your comfort is taken care of, everybody will be enjoying it. So it's a very good thing. So it's a win-win situation for us, and let us expect good things coming from this administration.
All right, women and youths play an important role in nation building. How can they be included, especially the women, in the present administration's reforms?
We have 35% affirmative.
Yes.
That's Jonathan administration did more to improve on that, and President Buhari also work on that. So with Tinubu coming on board, saying it specifically in his speech that youths and women will be involved in his government, I believe he's going to do it. So taking along that 35% affirmative, using more women and more youth brought into the system, I think is a good omen for the country. So let the youth be jumping up and be warming up to take their place.
All right, rounding off now, what's your advice to citizens and the new administration?
My advice to citizens is for us to be patient. This administration meant well for us. If you look at those speech, if we give him a good atmosphere to work out things, I think it's going to be in the best interest of Nigeria. The best thing for us is to be patient with him, and let's see what happens. So through in the course of the event, we give him more advice and we see how things go. So, but people should be patient for us to have good results.
What about the federal government?
The federal government should live to their promise. One thing is that most of them, they always have good promises, but at the end, implementation is the problem. So we want to employ the federal government of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to make sure that implementation is not a problem. Let him live by his word. Let us see transparency, sincerity, and dedication. Then with that, they are good to go.
All right, we'd like to sincerely thank you for coming on the program. We do hope when next we call on you, avail us your presence.
Yeah, it's a pleasure. I'm going to be available. Thank you.
Weekend Report, we're going to break to be back shortly. Stay tuned.
The pain of war knows no tribe or religion. War engulfs everyone, rich or poor. Homes are destroyed, emptied by the darkness of war. During war, everybody loses, nobody wins. The innocent pays the price of our ego with their blood. They are badly affected by a decision they didn't make. Dialogue is the only way out. We are stronger together. We should never separate. We are one Nigeria. Our oneness, our strength, our beauty.
Welcome back. And moving on to entertainment news. Filmmaker Isong Misodi has unveiled the inaugural edition of our African Cultural Film Festival, AfriCOF, in the United States. Olufemi Olaleye has details of this and more from the world of entertainment.
The film festival is scheduled to be held from October 26 to October 29 in Austin, Texas. said the 4-day Afrocentric Film Festival will focus on celebrating African films, short films, and documentary in the bid to unveil the cultural artistic richness of the black race to global audience. Popular Nigerian comedian Francis Agboda, aka Agudai, is set to complete his European tour tonight in Amsterdam. The comedian embarked on the European tour tag Agudai Standing Tour in the second quarter kickoff in Zurich on April 30, 2023. As the Agudai Standing Tour round off today, the comedian has promised to reschedule a new date for his fans in Turkey. Breakout sensation Basil drops debut single Vibration. Vibration showcased Basil's decisive voice, which possesses a unique quality that immediately grabbed the listener's attention. The lyrics convey a reassuring message, emphasizing the yearning of verses on a higher frequency and detach oneself from anything that lacks meaning or purpose. Olufemi Olale, NTA News.
And now sports. The Nigerian Football Federation has charged players and technical crew of the country's under-20 national team, the Flying Eagles, not to underrate their quarter-final opponents on Sunday. Ahmad Fulani has the rest of sport tidbits.
Led by Alhaji Inuwa Sharif, the NFF delegate assured the team of Nigerian support and that of the football glass house, saying that they should target winning the trophy. The Flying Eagles defeated host nation Argentina 2-0 in the second round to book a spot in the quarterfinals against South Korea, which will be played on Sunday at 6:30 p.m. Nigerian time. FIFA President Gianni Infantino has congratulated Amaju Pinnick, a former president, Nigerian Football Federation, for the conferment of Officer of the Order of the Federal Republic on him by former President Muhammadu Buhari. Buhari had, before his exit on May 29, honored Pinnick and many others with the conferment of national honors. Infantino, in a letter personally signed, stated that the award was a well-deserved honor that established Pinnick's exemplary commitment to football development, particularly within the FIFA Council. Ahmed Fulani, NTA News.
Sports Update concludes a package on Weekend Report. Do have a wonderful weekend.
For more news and programs, you can visit our website on www.ntailorin.com.ng. Download the NTA Ilorin app from Google Play Store on your Android devices. You can also watch our news on NTA Ilorin YouTube channel.